Hello, Edson Oliveira here. This is supposed to be an addendum to our DNN monthly chats, but I'm putting in the beginning of the video. The reason of this is because I just got to know today is Friday, August 25th. I just got an email, got a note from DNN Corp saying that DNN Corp was acquired by ESW Capital. And this is fresh out of the press. The new CEO, his name is Andy Triba, and I just got this great news. I don't know how to take that. I'm hoping that this is a good thing, a good injection of new people, new blood into the DNN ecosystem, the DNN business. There is a blog post that goes together with this news, and it will all be placed in the show notes. So again, Andy Triba, welcome to the DNN community. Looking forward to meeting you in person, hopefully at DNN Summit. That's it. Just a quick addendum. Hello, Edson Oliveira here. This is the DNN monthly chat. Today I have with me the usual suspects, Joe Craig, Scott Wilson, and I have a guest as well. I have Tracy Whitt-Keller from T-Works, and hopefully you're gonna have another guest coming in a bit. But this is it. This is the crew that we have today. Thank you guys for being here. Let's get down very quickly here because I have to be out of here in about 45 minutes. So this has been a quiet month, at least from my perspective. No security breaches, nothing too fancy going on. I mean, a very quiet month. How about you guys? Do you guys have the same feeling? This month has been quiet?
Yeah, no major releases.
Nothing. Actually, I was because I missed the last DNN MVP, and sometimes it's when we hear about, this is when the next release will be done. So I missed the last one, which was in the beginning of August. I'm gonna ask Joe and Scott, guys, anything happened there that's worth mentioning here?
I don't recall. The next release of DNN, I think, is due
October.
Yeah, I was thinking November, but
okay.
So that's DNN.
And the only thing
that's DNN 9.2, isn't it? DNN 9.2.
Yes.
DNN 9.2, and it is claimed to be 100% Telerik free, and it will have prompt or an early version of prompt built into it.
Got it. And the other thing that I saw from Joe Brickman the other day on the Facebook group is a new page admin view for the persona bar, because I don't know what's going on. Maybe the page management was not that that well accepted, but again, they seem to be going to a tree view type of look. I have the image that Joe had posted in the Facebook user group. I have it in front of me, so it seems to be going I would say back for good, I think, because the page management right now in DNN 9 is a little bit how would I say, not super friendly, maybe. I mean, those spots that keep getting created on the side. So it seems that they're going towards a different direction there. Anyone has anything on that one?
I've been converting a site from another CMS over to DNN, and I've really kind of started to enjoy the fact that you can pop up the persona bar, create a page, and play with it, and then make it go away and come back to what you were doing. So I'm real happy to see that they're going to make it even better to use. I have trouble dragging and dropping new pages into the right place.
Yeah, you're right.
Same kind of thing happens with placing modules. So hopefully all of those things will be fixed. I guess the other thing is with DNN 9.2, the assets pages will be true persona bar.
Yes, because
whatever,
because they
items,
rely
whatever you call them.
they rely on Telerik.
It's Telerik, and it basically just opens up the old
Modules.
what is it?
The old file manager.
The old file manager.
Yep.
The old file manager. So that's nice. I'm getting used to 9.1 and finding lots of things like on page management. I think there were still a few features missing, like being able to create a page with a template and that sort of thing. I can't remember. So hopefully those things will get sorted out as well.
Yeah.
But overall, I like the persona bar approach to things. I know people, it takes a while to get used to it. The sticky edit mode that came in with 9.1.1 makes it a whole lot nicer.
It does. So again, it seems that they are just changing a little bit the page management view, so to a more simplified version, which I believe it's a good move there. That's about it from a DNN new release, future new release. I want to jump right away because actually I'm waiting for Ryan. Ryan, you promised you'd be here. You're not here. I'm calling you out, okay? So this was supposed to be your segment, but
bad Ryan.
But Joe will replace you nicely. I'm quite sure. But let's talk a little bit about DNN Summit and more specifically about the training session. Actually, again, Ryan is the one supposed to be, is the coordinator of that. And I guess that we have 3 of the speakers of the training here. So Joe, do you want to mention about that a little bit?
Sure. Training day, if I remember correctly, is February the 6th.
Yes.
It's Tuesday, the first day of DNN Summit, and this year we're going to have 5 complete one-day sessions for people to sign up for. The first one is an introduction to DNN that will be taught by Ryan Moore. Introduction in the morning, and basically in the afternoon, kind of free-form open lab where people can work with DNN, and there will be people to help, and I think some suggested things to do when you're there. If you've gotten past the introduction, people can take the DNN administration course, and I hear we have a really good instructor for that. That would be Adderson. Scott Wilkinson will be teaching DNN development, and Anthony Overkamp from Engage will be teaching a theming class. And we have a new class this year. Tracy Wittenkeller will be teaching a class on Evoke, but really concentrating on liquid content and new ways of doing things in the DNN environment. So if the 3 of you want to talk about what you plan to do, or
perfect. I'll
just realize that you only have 4 months to get your act together.
I mean, let me give my spiel here, my 30-second spiel. This session will be, to be honest, very similar to the past one. The last one was based on DNN 9 already. This one will also be based on DNN 9, administration of DNN 9. Maybe some screens and some flows will be updated, but the flow of it will be pretty much the same. So, to be honest, if you have attended the last one, no need to attend this one. Only if if you are coming new. But again, it will be a more of a recap of what was presented last time with some up-to-date stuff. Scott, do you want to mention about yours?
Yeah, I think I'll echo what you said. Mine's gonna be similar to last time, since it was revamped for all the DNN 8 stuff for last year. But I think based on some of the feedback I received, I'll probably make it a little more interactive, and so I may restructure it slightly. But the topics will be the same, and I might try to add some, one new topic, which is DNN 9 persona bar development to it, if I could squeeze it in.
Got it. Tracy, I'm gonna hold yours right now for the time that you're gonna have. There's a segment to talk about liquid content, and then you can talk about your session, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. I think that's it, isn't it, Joe? Anything else about the event, about the DNN Summit? I think that the speaker call has been closed, and we have that settled, correct?
The call for speakers is closed. The submitted sessions are being reviewed and voted on, and hopefully soon we will actually be able to announce the session lineup.
Got it.
New since the last when go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Ignite. Did you guys get submissions for Ignite?
Yes, we did.
You did? Okay.
I think we got a few. So if you want to update your spaghetti sauce routine, we have time for that.
Okay.
New since last month, I think last month I promised that registration for DNN Summit would be open soon. It is. You can go to the dnnsummit.org website, click the register link, and register for the event. We are real close to having the DNN on the slopes stuff ready as well. And when that is done, you'll be able to go and purchase tickets for that in addition to going to DNN Summit. And I'll just repeat, this year, all of the ticketing stuff is being done on an Eventbrite site.
Okay.
And that's from my side of things, that's a very nice improvement.
Awesome.
Getting tickets will be done professionally. You'll actually get an electronic version of your ticket that you can bring with you if you're the nervous type and you want to show up with a ticket. We'll know who you are anyway, but you can bring your tickets. And there's a possibility that we will go with name tags for the event with RFID technology built into them, so we'll know where you are every step of the way.
Well,
or
so
at least we can
so you can even
use that to see how many people went and sat in which rooms and how long they stayed.
You can even
we won't be able to tell who went to sleep, I think, but
you can even do a heat map. You put a map of the place and you see the spots that were most people were most attracted to. Great. So again, as we have more information, as Joe has more information, he will keep us up to date on that. Trace,
I didn't mention it, but it bears saying February 6, 7, and 8 are the dates of the event. It's in Denver, Colorado. And if you just can't get enough of Colorado in the wintertime, the 9th and the 10th will be DNN on the slopes up in Winter Park, Colorado. I didn't go last year, but I hear those who did had a terrific time, and there may be another songwriting contest. We'll have to see.
Awesome. Great. Great. Trace, I would like to jump to your part there. If you want to talk about your session and more specifically about liquid content, because I have seen lately that you have been very active around that subject. So I'll pass it over to you. Tell us about liquid content in your session.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, we are doing a session at the summit on liquid content. When I say we, I mean myself and the DNN diva Alessandra Davies. We'll be co-training that session, and the session is really going to cover show people how to create content types and visualizers and how to use different use cases on different websites that make a lot of sense. And from our perspective, we've been actually, I guess for the last year or so, we've been building a lot of sites in Evoke using liquid content. And for people that don't know what liquid content is, it's another way, much easier way to kind of build content and style it in a way that your client doesn't have to worry about getting into using the HTML editor to configure stuff, right? Just more of a headache. So liquid content, really the way it works is you create content items that are part of a overall content type. So that includes all of your content that you may want to show on a page or across several pages in multiple different ways with the visualizer. That's the third piece. That's really the important piece. So the visualizer controls how that content is displayed in a number of different ways. So if I've got, I guess one good example would be like a client case studies page where I'm referring back to a site that we just built for a client where they provide services to lots of other companies. So on one page they have see all of our client case studies, and they have all these on the first page. There's all these logos of all their companies. You can click on a logo. You can go to a detailed page about that logo, view a complete case study with videos and all kinds of other stuff. And then on another page in the little sidebar, you can get information by seeing like 5 of those logos and clicking on a logo from there and then going deeper, right? Going to like the case studies page where you see all of these different client logos with a blurb, and then you can drill down into the full case study from there. So all of that content with those logos that would be displayed in the sidebar or on a page or on like a case studies page with the logo and a blurb, and then the deeper page, the full case study for each of those clients, it's all in one content type as different types of content items. So you've got your logo, you've got your intro blurb, you've got your video, you've got your case study, you've got all the details. So you build it all in one place with different content items. And in the visualizer, you say, I want to show this content item in this visualizer, and I want to display it in this way. So on one page in the sidebar, we've got all this content that we could possibly choose to display in one visualizer, but we're just saying for this sidebar, we're just going to show the logo here with this visualizer. On this next page, we're going to show the logo and the intro blurb, whatever. On this page, we're going to show the full case study with the video and the bio text and the whatever it is you have in there. So it's really powerful. And for clients to maintain their site, it makes it much easier. It's ridiculously easier than using standard HTML modules or even other DNN modules, a lot of them. It eliminates the need for you to use a lot of the core modules, because as designers and developers, we create all of this on the front end, including the display, how everything's going to look, where all the content's going to go, or how much content could be displayed across where. And then we just we select a visualizer to display it on the page, so a client doesn't have to worry about going into the HTML editor to make stuff look a certain way in a module on a page in a block of content. It's already done. You know what I mean? So when we create a content type, we define all the different fields and labels and stuff that could be shown within that chunk of content, whether it's a title of something, whether it's a certain image, it doesn't matter. But that's all defined. Use it within Evoke in liquid content using a simple it looks kind of like a form builder interface. So you can just drag stuff that you want on the page and you define what is going to be displayed through that item.
Okay.
And then so the client on their end, they just gotta have to select something and then enter fields, and it's done, man. They don't have to worry about configuring it all.
Got it. Let me play here a little bit devil's advocate and whether or not you may not have experience with some of those modules that I'm gonna mention, but I'm gonna mention just to get your your view on that. What you described there is great, but it doesn't sound too much different from what we could do with Xmod or with Too Sexy Content or with Open Content. So I don't know which one of Xmod, Open Content, or too sexy content. I don't know if you have any experience with any of those, but if you do, can you comment on what is it that makes liquid content better or different, or maybe it's the UI that is simpler, or maybe it's the integration that is simpler. Can you comment about that?
Yeah, I haven't I'm not as familiar as Open, whatever you just said, and Xmod. We haven't used that much, used it years ago, but I haven't seen it in like a long time. Too sexy content, one of the guys on our team, Lucas, he's used that a bit, and we've talked about this and the difference between that and liquid content. Too sexy content, because you have to use Razor scripts,
yep,
you have to have a little bit of scripting and developer knowledge to use that really effectively. Whereas Evoke, the way that they've built this makes it really, really easy from an administration standpoint. So you don't actually need like very many technical skills at all to do that. But with that, with Evoke, there are limitations over something like too sexy content. I've had a talk with Daniel, and I know I see all the stuff that he's been posting in the DNN Connect group about, you know, the additions to too sexy, which is really, really, really cool. So I think you get a lot more flexibility with too sexy content, but there's more of a learning curve because you have to have some more skills there from like maybe not a hardcore developer, but more of a developer type where you've got to know some Razor scripts and do some stuff like that to get exactly what you want. Whereas Evoke, they've made it really, really simple, especially, and again, they've made that for the corporate type, right? Where they've got different admins that are responsible for maintaining their site, but they might not be as technical.
Got it. So what you're saying is that, again, some of those tools, and even Xmod as well, it's more technical, you know, you have to be in open content too, you have to know some scripting as well, you have to know, but again, it might be more flex. So what you're saying is that some of those that I had mentioned, they are more geared towards the techie audience instead of the content editor or the admin type of person that does not know, scripting that much. Is that a fair assessment?
No. Yeah, I believe you're dead on there. Yeah.
Perfect.
I believe you're dead on.
Okay. I also think
with liquid content and the visualizers, sorry, Scott, with visualizers, we've got the setup where we can define different tags based on all the content items we've created. Well, tags, I mean tokens. And we've got a little area where we can define CSS and all the tokens and how those are going to be addressed. So that's the most technical side of liquid content.
Got it. Scott?
Right. I also think one key point, I think, about the advantage, I guess, of it is that the liquid content, and I'm not quite sure, but compared to the newer versions of these modules, but the liquid content does not actually store its data in the database. So it's stored on the cloud in Azure services through DNN Corp. So that's part of why you pay the price tag for Evoke content, right? So the advantage of that, one of the disadvantages of that is we've been able to just, if you want to clone an instance of an environment, you just clone it and the database and everything goes with it and you got all your data. And that's not quite the case, although DNN does have a strategy for cloning environments with this, but the data in liquid content, including the visualizers even, is all stored on the cloud so that it makes it more portable. In fact, some of their demos, and I missed the last demonstration, but that they did put out that big, I think we talked about this last month, where they put out that big sample project on GitHub, where they had all sorts of a Windows form application that pulls the liquid content items. They had what else was it? Like
Alexa,
an Alexa
yep.
client, and all sorts of stuff, mobile and different things. You could even pull down liquid content into a WordPress or some other CMS asset that you have. So I think one of the big advantages is the portability of the data and the visualizers.
Got it.
Yeah, exactly. I think one other advantage I'll mention real quick too, because it's all like a microservice, which is what you're saying, I think, Scott. Mm-hmm. So, different than DNN platform where they have these upgrades, they have to come up and you have to reinstall these upgrades. When we come across something like a bug or something, we let DNN Corp know, and they don't need a full upgrade to make that change. They can, because it's a microservice, they can easily make that change and apply it without much pain. So
yeah, we've experienced that too. We submitted a bug, Bluebolt did, and yeah, it was something they were able to resolve just by updating the Azure services on the back end without a DNN framework upgrade.
Right.
So what you guys are saying, just to confirm that I heard this right, the data is actually not stored within the DNN database. So is that optional, or is that just the way that Liquid Content works, the offering of Liquid Content? Is that all cloud-based, it's stored there? Again, is that optional, or is that how it works?
It's my understanding it's not optional. I haven't been able to, it has to store it on their services.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, hence the reason probably for the annual license.
I get it.
Right. Yeah.
I get it. Okay, great. So Tracy, thanks for that. You gave a good overview of Liquid Content. Do you want to talk a little bit about your session during DNN Summit, which will also touch on Liquid Content?
Yeah. Again, we're just going to walk people through the basics of creating Liquid Content, show them how to create content types and visualizers and content items, how to bring those all together and put them on a page, right? And display them several different ways. So it's really about, if you want to learn how to, if you want to learn how to use Evoke and Liquid Content, the right way and to take advantage of that, how all that is structured and how it works, then you should attend our sessions. It should be pretty good.
Perfect.
Tracy, I have a quick question. Are you going to be covering any of the microservice API stuff in your session, or is that going to go? Is your session more focused on the, kind of the marketing business user who,
Yeah, definitely the latter, Scott. So more front end admin. Okay. How to maintain content and whatnot, and build your site with Evoke.
Okay.
Great. Okay, Joe, it seems that you are having problems with audio there. Is that correct?
I think I'm okay now.
You're okay now. Okay, great.
If you can hear me.
Good to have you back. Okay, perfect. So that was a quick preview of what we will be talking about in our sessions during DNN Summit. Thank you very much, Tracy, for your update there. I'd like to bring a little discussion here and open that to everybody, and I would like to get everybody's take on this. This past month, I needed to ask 2 questions about DNN. It was a problem that we came across. We couldn't sort it out. I said, I have to go to the community and ask the community. So when I was about to do that, I was thinking, where is the right place? What is the right place to ask questions about DNN in this day and age? Is that, and I asked myself, okay, is that in the Facebook user group? Is that in the forum? And there's the forum as well. The forum is still active there. There's also the Q&A area of DNN. So what is the right place? What is the right place? And I would like to hear your thoughts, guys, about that. Scott, let's get your view there. Where is the right place?
I mean, like community blog, Stack Overflow, DNN Hero forums, the Facebook page. I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
I see. Let me tell why I have this debate in my head. It's just because I feel that right now the most responsive place that we can get answers right there, right then, with the smartest people on earth about DNN is on the Facebook user group. Again, I posted a question there. Let me tell you, in 10 minutes, I had the answer. That happened twice this past 30 days. Now, why I feel guilty by doing that? And here is the reason. Because the question now is behind Facebook. The question now is not public anymore. I mean, it's not indexable anymore. So at the same time that I want the answer as fast as possible, I also would like to have that discussion, that conversation public, in a public place, so that more people outside of that user group and outside of the Facebook group could benefit from that. How many times we come across problems in DNN that we search on Google, and we end up going to the forums, we end up having an answer on the forums, and when we post that in the Facebook user group, that becomes, siloed. I don't think it's indexable by Google at all. So I know that this discussion came about a few months, even over a year ago. But I wanted to talk about that again. So again, should I feel guilty about asking that in the Facebook group so only the people in the group can benefit? I mean, Tracy, what's your take?
Well, my take is, because I have, T-Works company, our design development company, I also have we've started a Facebook ad agency. I know how many people use Facebook. I'm on it all day long. And so when I'm communicating with a lot of clients, I still use Skype a lot, but for a lot of other stuff, most of it, I'm using Facebook or Facebook Messenger, man. I'm on it all day long. I've got my notifications set up. So if I need to know something, about DNN, the first place I'm going to go is the DNN Connect group. It's bar none, because like you said, I can post something and I can get an answer, or I can look and I'll get a notification, and it's pretty much kind of, what I've been kind of looking for too. So there's so much great information there. But again, it's all about Facebook, man. 1.7 billion people are on Facebook every day. You know what I mean? And for me, I have it open 100% of my day, and I'm constantly using that for communication. So to me, that's the first place I go to communicate with virtually everybody now. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like like people like to send people a mobile text because they know they're going to read it every freaking time, 100% of the time. You guys probably are the same. If I get a mobile text, I am definitely going to look at it. I'm definitely going to, every one of them, right? And Facebook Messenger and Facebook is the same way now. So that's why it's why it's so hot for, reaching out to people, for getting information, for marketing, everything. I think that has a lot to do with it. Facebook is where everybody is, man.
Joe, do you have your 2 cents there?
Sure. I'll plead guilty with all of you, and just mention that there are multiple locations on Facebook related to DNN, and they are not all even public on Facebook. So I've been known to ask questions in a more private group, somewhat out of embarrassment about asking the questions sometimes, but sometimes, because I know that within that group, I'm really going to get an answer.
I have no shame. I just ask. I'm shameless. So again.
Well, I was going to say that one of the humbling things about the whole thing is, and Nina Myers mentioned it yesterday in the Southern Fried DNN meeting, was that Googling for an answer, and oh golly, I answered that question 4 years ago. Finding your own answer to a question by doing a Google search always is humbling. But and some things you maybe don't want to ask in public, and for good reasons or for bad reasons. So the narrowing it down on Facebook sometimes helps, or if you want to make sure that you're getting the attention of people that can answer.
Joe, your audio is gone.
I've also been on Face.
Yeah, it's choppy. It's
Yep.
bad. It's bad. Guys, it's Joe's coffee shop. It's a shared workplace. Okay, shared workplace. And for those that are just listening, I'm doing air quotes. It's a shared workplace. Anyway.
So Anderson, the answer is ask it in Facebook so you can get your response in the time that you want. But maybe you could do the extra step of cutting and pasting your question and the answer over to the DNN wiki or something that gets indexed by Google, or maybe not Stack Overflow, but maybe the DNN wiki, and I don't know, if you feel like it's worth other people, or if you feel like other people gets benefit out of it.
I guess that's a way to work around my guilt feeling of doing that inside.
Yeah, if that's what helps you sleep through the night.
I have to do that. And I'm gonna sidetrack here for a second, just for a second. I have 2 bags right now in my garage of old electronics, old cables. I don't know what to do with them. I feel guilty about putting that in the curb to have the
eBay. Sell them on eBay.
Just old.
It's probably
cable.
not even worth that.
Yeah, it's just 2 bags full of old stuff. And I feel guilty about throwing that. My guilt because of eco. Scott, that eco stuff. That.
I've got it. I've got the same thing. The only thing is I use my wires because I end up building little projects around my car or something. I've used tons of computer wire in my car. So
okay, maybe.
But yeah, there are cables that you cannot use. You just have to throw them away.
Really?
I don't know what else. Yeah.
Okay,
what do you do with a serial cable? I have no use for a serial cable.
Maybe I'm gonna pack everything I sent to you.
Yeah, then I'll throw it on.
Anyway,
it could make possibly Aderson. It could make for a very interesting art piece. You could create something crazy out of that. And recently we've been to a couple of museums in Miami, and some of the stuff there on display that artists created, I don't know how they get in a museum. So you could probably come up with something pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, let's bring the conversation back here to DNN. So, okay, great. So we have a solution there. Post on Facebook, group, and then if you have the time, if you have the willingness, go and post that on a public place like a forum or anything like that can be indexed by Google as well. That's about it for that discussion. Joe, are you still there? Or
I think we lost him a couple of minutes ago.
Can you hear me?
Yes, at least I have.
There we go.
We can hear a voice. Anyone else was yesterday in the Southern Fried DNN user group?
No,
I didn't catch it. No.
Okay. I was just thinking because there was an interesting topic there. It was why DNN versus WordPress, and I would assume that it would have been a good conversation. But
I bet Ryan was there.
What is that?
I bet Ryan was there.
Yes, that's why I had the topic here for Ryan as well. But again, Ryan, you owe me one. Okay, so I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna, it was yesterday. The Southern Fried DNN user group meeting was yesterday, talking about why DNN versus WordPress, and Nina Myers was there as well, which must have been an interesting conversation there. So that's about it.
It was one of their better meetings. I thought the level of discussion was very high.
Okay, great. That's awesome.
I'll look for the replay on that one.
Yep, we should check that. Okay, so moving on here, a few blog posts, 2 blog posts that I want to mention. One is it's from Daniel Mettler. It's about what .NET Core 2.0 means for DNN. He has a very extensive blog post on his own website talking about .NET Core 2 and his vision of how DNN could potentially benefit from that going forwards. And again, it's always a thoughtful experience to go through Daniel's writing. So it's a good one if you want to check that out. The next one here is a blog post put together by our friend Clint Patterson. He is talking about Splunk and DNN. Splunk is a platform that allows you to collect, to aggregate, to send data, big data over to it, And what you can do from there, you can search your data, you can create visualizations from your data. So it's a very interesting article on how to integrate both, DNN, and he gives an example of how to integrate the event log with Splunk and get the data on Splunk to create visualizations of that data. So an interesting article, blog post created by our friend Clint Patterson. What else I have here? Okay, in terms of new stuff that I have seen on the marketplace lately, I saw this module called, guys, and you can help me with the pronunciation of that. It's File Cleaner, but there's a C-U-U-M Cleaner. File C-U-U-M Cleaner. File. I'm even concerned about pronouncing that, to be honest. But I'm gonna just say.
I think it's like vacuum cleaner.
Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna keep File Cleaner. File Cleaner, just for the sake of a better. So we don't get into situations, into tricky situations here. But File Cleaner is a module put together.
So what you're saying is that Daniel Mettler has competition?
Yes, that's a very good way to word that, So I'm just gonna mention that File Cleaner is a module, open source module created by Stefan Canfius from 40fingers.net. They are a company out of the Netherlands. This module is supposed to help you clean up files on your DNN website. And what type of files? For instance, log files. I've seen DNN sites with a huge list of log files there under their portals. If I'm not mistaken, it's portals _ default and then cache or log or something like that.
Logs,
but anyway,
yeah.
This module can create a task for DNN that will monitor folders, file types, and it will clean for you. You can say the extension name that you want to monitor, the file size, and it will do an automated cleanup for you. So just wanted to point out this module called File Cleaner.
Sounds kind of cool, but it sounds kind of scary at the same time.
You have to be mindful. You have to be careful about what you end up asking it to delete. It actually warns you. You have to know what you're doing because it may have unforeseen consequences if you misuse it.
I guess it's no more scary than the PowerShell scripts I've been writing for clients that do the same thing.
I would think so. Okay, so what else we have here? Just want to make a quick plug here for the DNN tip of the week. Every week I put out a DNN tip. Today I'll be recording one as well. So that goes every week. I want to jump to our segment where I ask our guests, and myself included as well, if there's anything new, if there's anything interesting that you are doing right now. It might be a technology, it might be a tool, it might be a project, it might be, I don't know, framework, whatever it is. But if there's anything interesting, new that you'd like to share with us, with everybody, please let me know. Tracy, anything from your side, any interesting stuff going on?
Yeah, but specifically related to DNN.
No.
Nothing that...
No. Go beyond DNN. Go beyond. It can be electric cars. It can be whatever it is.
Well, there is something with DNN, but I can't talk about it yet. At the conference, there will kind of spring a surprise at the conference. Let's put it that way at the summit. But anything else? I mean, I told you that. I also have a Facebook ad agency, so we've been doing Facebook ads for a lot of clients and getting a lot of great results. And one tool that we use as part of creating campaigns for clients is called ClickFunnels.
Okay.
I'm sure people have heard of ClickFunnels, maybe not used it, but it's an amazing platform, man, for building landing pages and entire sales funnels.
Got it.
In terms of you've got an opt-in page or a landing page. You've got a thank you page. You've got maybe an order page where you can include upsells and downsells and order bumps and all kinds of stuff. And ClickFunnels is a great platform because it kind of builds stuff for you automatically as long as you know what you're doing with it. So it makes things like really, really easy in terms of that. And one of the things that I noticed about ClickFunnels, I actually discovered it about 3 years ago when I was using lead pages to create landing pages and whatnot for clients. And back then it was a little bit not quite ready for prime time. So another year later, they had a big release. It's about a year and a half ago to 2 years now. And the text editor, the ability to create a page, drag and drop, and literally like make it work really well. It's just really awesome. It's like, because, being a web design and development company owner, we've always been looking for kind of a page builder really for our clients to make it easy for them to maintain their DNN websites and build pages around instead of having to rely on the themes to do that, you know what I mean? Or themers to do that. And ClickFunnels is they really knocked it out of the park with their page builder, man. It's really, really good. And I've always been like, I always thought about having a page builder now. If I could have the perfect page builder for DNN, ClickFunnels would be it, man. It's really good.
I get it. I use a lot ClickFunnels, and I love the product. I love the tool. I'm right in agreement with what you're saying, Tracy. Very, very good tool. Scott, anything from your side?
I don't know, a little bit more nerdy, but I built a cell balancer for my car. The schematic is on my screen if you want to display that. It basically drains power from a lithium cell so that you can. I've got 40 cells in my car, and they all have to be drained at the exact same rate so they can all charge up together. And so this automatically drains it for me without And so that, and then I've got I'm still working on my Persona Bar extension video set for DNN Hero. I've got video 1 already done, completely edited and everything. I'm just trying to get to move on to video 2 and 3. So hopefully that'll be coming out in the next few weeks.
Perfect. Awesome. That's geekness on its best, version of it. That is geekness.
Yeah.
And I'm just building websites and Facebook ads. And then you're doing that. It's like, what?
Well, I'm solving the word poverty, I'm the word hunger, Joe, anything from your side?
Well, I'll just get bragging about the geeky things. I converted a site from DNN 7 up to 9.1.1. And the final tricky thing about that was that they had been using URL master on the DNN 7 site to manage URLs. And of course, that doesn't work in DNN 9. And in particular, they're using the old news articles module for a blog. Didn't want any of the blog URLs to change. And so I was able to take the URL provider that came with URL master and turn it into a proper DNN 9 URL provider. It still has a couple of funky things going on, but it's providing good URLs, and we were able to get the site up, and all of the URLs work properly. So every now and then I get to spend a couple of weeks playing developer, and it's always fun to do that. So yeah,
very good.
One of the things I've been up to.
Awesome. So for me, very quickly here, I'm just exploring more and more open content from our friend Sasha. Very, very great tool. Again, it tends to be not as technical as 2sex content, but it has some scripting, it work with handlebars. So very good tool. I'm exploring more and more for a particular project that I'm working on, that we are working on right now. So I have the links, all the links were mentioned in the show, in the conversation, will be posted in the show notes. Open content is my tip of the week. Again, not tip of the week, my interesting project that I'm working on, has a open content use case, and that's about it. That's really it. I don't have anything else. We can safely depart now from our talk. And yes, 50 minutes long. That's okay.
I'll just give you, Addison, a thumbs up for your previous DNN tip of the week, which is, I would say, don't use the option to display a module on all pages. You'll eventually be sorry if you did it. So great tip.
Yeah, I mean, that came from one of our team members. Again, great guy, great tip. I really love that strategy there. So again, Tracy, anything else?
No, but I didn't see that tip. So what's the alternative to use display on all pages?
It's not so much an alternative. It's actually it's fixing a problem that whenever you use a display on all pages, if you change the title, if you change the container of that module, it doesn't get propagated. So what you have to do is you have to uncheck, and it becomes one instance again, and you have to delete from recycle bin, and you have to apply it again. So it's more of a workaround,
Yeah, put it in the skin maybe is the alternative.
Yeah, right.
It could be.
If you have to display it on all pages and it doesn't change, put it in the skin.
And it doesn't change. That's a good point. If it just doesn't change. Yep. Great, guys.
Somewhere in there, I had encountered an Evoke site. And in Evoke, one of the added features is that if you add a module to all pages, the page that you do it from becomes the master for that module.
Right.
And some person who I hope to track down and do violence to at some point had added some CSS to hide the message that says you are either on or you are not on the master page for this module.
Okay,
and
Joe,
it took us
no violence
a
here.
few days to look for that.
No violence here, okay? Guys, let's depart. I have to rush. Have a great September. We talk again in a month. And yeah, enjoy whatever is left from this crazy summer, okay?
All right.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
See you next month.
Bye.